We thank you so much for joining us on Engineering and You. Every week we bring you engineers, and together we explore this profession and the advantages it has in the society. This program is brought to you by Engineer Yemisi Shilon FNSC. Is the reason why you see this program every Friday by 5:30 p.m. Don't forget, it's a two-way communication. You are allowed to call in on the program to answer our question, courtesy of our sponsor, and just maybe you might be our lucky winner on the program today. My name is Miriam Usman. We move next to the question of the day. The question of the day is, which organ is responsible for filtering products in the body? We have heart, lungs, kidneys, and the liver. If you know the answer, please send us messages via our social media handles. This program is streaming live, and rest assured that we will get your answer. You can also call us and tell us the answer to this question. We also have the question of the week, but that will be introduced or that will be spoken about by the end of the program. Our guest is seated right here with us, and after this break, we will be introducing the topic of conversation. Please stay with us. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Before we introduce our guest, let me quickly remind you that if you're a student between the age 15 to 22 with science and engineering innovation, please reach us on 0803-6401-944. I take the number again, 0803-6401-944. You can call us to exhibit your ideas or your invention, the opportunity to be on the program. We encourage young people to embrace the study of engineering through this program, courtesy of our sponsor, Engineer Yemisi Shilon FNSC. Don't forget, the question of the day is, which of the organ is responsible for filtering what waste products from the blood? We have option A, heart, option B, lungs, option C, the kidneys, and option D, liver. If you know the answer, do well to send us message or you call us and tell us the answer. Please, if you are not a young aspiring engineer, or if you're not a student, please do not call on the program. The question is strictly for those who are still in secondary school and can answer our question. When you call us, please try as much as you can to turn down the volume of your TV set. Today we are looking at building technology and builders' role in built environment. And to take us further on this conversation is builder Adedayo Ogunshola. I'll take you through some of his profile before he starts with his presentation for us today. Builder Adedayo Ogunshola is a registered builder that has over 25 years experience in the building industry. He is an academic and a professional that has managed and successfully delivered projects for residential, financial, educational, hospitals, health, recreational, and other types of clients. He's a certified facilities management professional, a certified quality assurance assessor, a maintenance expert, and a construction project manager. Okay, so our guest on the program today is a whole lot, as I'm going to stop at this introduction to let him talk to us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening. So this is the first time I get to know the word builder.
Okay.
And you try to explain that just like the word engineering is used to, is known as a title, you know,
Yes.
so is builder. But I want you to also expatiate on that, and then you proceed with your presentation for today.
Okay, thank you very much. So, a builder, who is a builder? A builder is actually a professional who has been academically trained and then professionally certified to practice the profession of building. To practice the profession of building. Anything that has to relate with the construction, management, maintenance, use, and then deconstruction of a building. That is who a builder is. And then, of course, during my presentation, I'll definitely do a little bit of more explanation on who a builder is.
Thank you so much for that introduction. So we have our slide ready, and I think you can proceed with the topic of conversation today.
Okay, so basically, a builder is one of the 7 core professionals in the built environment in Nigeria, all over the world, but specifically in Nigeria, a builder is one of the 7 core professionals in the built environment.
So
now,
this is the 7 built environment.
Yes, these are the key 7, the
Okay,
major
the
7.
major 7.
And usually when you want to talk of buildings and structures or infrastructures, the professionals are as highlighted. Of course, you first of all need to get the land, and so you need the profession of surveying and geoformatics, which is practiced by the land surveyors. They too have their registration body. You have the urban and regional planning profession, which is practiced by the town planners. They are the ones that actually plan and regulate the use of land and spaces. So they designate some areas for recreation, some areas for residential, for some areas for social services. They delineate where there will be roads and all the other infrastructure. And then when you now want to now start talking of the building itself, you can now start talking to your architect. That's the profession of architecture. They are the ones that will sit down and design. They take your concept as the client or the end user, and then you give them the design. This is what I want. This is what I want to use the building for. And they bring that to fruition. They are the one that does the design. So those are the architects. Now, the engineers, they are the one that actually sits down. Of course, this is engineering and use, so I know that over a period you must have interviewed many engineers and they've explained what they do. But within the concept of building, they are the one that actually design. I mean, in engineering, you have many specializations. So once it comes to structures or buildings, they are the one that actually design, if I may use this, the layman's term, the skeleton of the building, the frames, the structure, the foundation, the columns, all the structural elements. And of course, engineers also design the roads, they design the culverts, and each of these professionals, they also have the mandate, the legal right to actually supervise their building. So after the engineers had designed the structure of the building, you now come to the builders. That's the profession of building. Basically, the builders are basically who, like we call, production managers. They are like production managers because we take the design, the inputs of every other professional before us, and then we bring it to fruition. For instance, if you look at, say, a manufacturing process, let's say you want to make a car, somebody sits down and designs the car, but you now take the design, bring it into the workshop, the laboratory or wherever, and somebody produce that design to the specification. So that is actually the work of the builder. We are the one that produce this to specifications and some other work too that will go along. Then we have the quantity surveyors. That's the profession of quantity surveying. Basically, they are the cost accountant of the building profession. They are the one in charge of regulating, doing the calculation for costing, trying to manage the costs and everything that had to do with costing of the built environment. And then now you now have the estate management profession. being practiced by the estate manager, surveyors and valuers. They are the one that actually now, when you have now finished, you hand over the building to them, and they could help you manage it based on whatever it is that you want them to do for you. Maybe they help you to manage it in terms of rentals, in terms of sales, and any other thing that they do. So those are the key 7 professionals in the built environment. Now, who are builders? Of course, for you to have a builder, you need to understand what a building is. So a building basically is an enclosed space for the use and protection of mankind. Buildings is not about the material that is used to enclose the space. Building is that there is a need for enclosure of space. For instance, we are in a studio, and so we need to enclose this space so that we can actually have this program and everything. Of course, you have buildings that are used for different functions. You have schools, those are educational buildings. You have hospitals, health buildings, and everything like that. So those are buildings. Now, when you now talk of building technology, so what really is building technology? We say that building technology refers to the technical process and methods that are used in the construction of building. Because building is a product, there is a technical process, the proper step-by-step process that you actually are supposed to use to construct that building. And so building technology is the knowledge of that process. And this knowledge, just like any other profession, needs to be gotten. So when you talk of building technology, you are talking of knowledge about the construction, the production, and the maintenance of buildings, and all the related infrastructure around it, culverts, roads, parks, and every other thing that are used in the built environment. So what is the build profession, the building profession? And what are where are the core areas? Because in the built environment, like I said, you have 7 professionals, but each professional actually have their core area of practice. That is the place where they are specialized. For instance, the architects, they are specialized in the designing, of course, and the management of the process of buildings, the engineers in the frames, like I said. But when it comes to the builders, the building profession, the core practice is actually the building production management, like I said before, of the production process of building. And this encompasses the science. It's actually a science. It's actually a study of science in the areas of buildability and maintainability analysis of designs. When an architect designs a building for builders, you don't start your work when you get to the construction site. You actually start your work at the design stage. And so the architect, the engineers, they've designed the building. You as a builder, you are actually part of the design team, not just the construction team. You are part of the design team, because from there that you actually start the buildability and maintainability analysis of that design. And of course, you now produce the production documents that you will need to construct, the guidelines that you will take to construct the building, to manage the production processes. And of course, buildings need to be maintained. Buildings need to be maintained, and so maintenance is also one of the core areas of building. And of course, you have building surveying, you have project management, you have contract management, you have facility management, all this. So for the builder, your work is not just when you are building the house. Your profession actually goes much more. We call it the life cycle, the building life cycle. It starts from the design till the deconstruction. Because for instance, you have a building, and then after 50, 60 years, you want to deconstruct the building, bring it down, and raise up another one. So the builder is actually involved from the beginning to the end. Now, what does it take to be a builder? Is it just anybody that actually can go to a construction site and instruct people that is a builder? No. What does it take to be a builder? To be a registered builder. A registered builder is someone who has received the standard professional training For example, in the practice or the profession of medicine, for you to call yourself a medical doctor, you must have received a standard professional training. The same thing happens for someone who is to be called a builder. The person must have received the professional training and practice in the core area of building, and then will have taken an examination by the Nigerian Institute of Building, that is in Nigeria. Of course, all over the world, you have them all over the world, the Charter Institute of Building in UK, the Institute of Building in Australia and also. But for Nigeria, you have to go to the Nigerian Institute of Building to take professional exams. They want to test your professional competence. And then after that, you now go for an interview with the registered, the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. In Nigeria, all professions are regulated by the federal government. So the body that regulates the practice of building in Nigeria is the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. And the only professional that is registered by law, allowed by law, permitted by law to practice that core area is someone who has been registered by the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. So at the point where you have been registered is where you can call yourself a builder. So, what are the roles of a registered builder? Like I said, all professions are regulated by law in Nigeria. And so, the profession of building...
We have a caller. Let's take this call.
Okay.
Thank you, Glory, for joining us.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening. Glory, what's our answer on the program today?
Ma, the answer is C, kidney.
C, kidney.
Yes, ma.
Okay, we'll let you know if you're correct or not by the end of the program. But please tell us the last digits of your phone number, the last 2 digits of your phone number.
74.
74.
Yes, ma.
All right, thank you, Glory, for calling us.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. All right, we're still taking answers to our question of the day. Don't forget, this program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, FNSC. He's the reason why you're seeing this program today. And lucky for you, if you be the winner, you get to take away something from the program. Please call us before the end of the program. Yes.
Okay, so what are the roles and responsibilities of a registered builder? By the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a registered builder is the only professional that can manage the production process of building, that's building production management. He also has very good understanding of the maintenance management of building because he built it anyhow, so he knows it. Then there's building condition survey. That's when, okay, so you have an existing building, you want to know what is the state of this building, how good is it, how bad is it, what needs to be done for you to be able to still continue to use that building. And of course, we talk about facilities management. So a builder, again, because he's the one that builds the building, he can actually manage the facilities. And facilities management is not just about the structure or the elements of the building. It also involves the people, how the user of the building can get optimum benefits from the use of the building. That's facility management, okay? So you can reactivate abandoned projects and everything. And of course, you can prepare feasibility studies. And so that is the responsibility of a registered builder. That's some of the things that a registered builder does. And so how do you become a builder? Of course, you have to go to tertiary institutions in Nigeria. You either go to the university and you study the course that is called building. Of course, building is a science-related course, so you first of all must have studied science in the secondary school. So you study building, you go to university to study building, or you go to a polytechnic to study building technology, or a university of technology to also study building technology, and of course. So, I mean, these are some of the things that the builder does. Another thing that, some of the things that the builder does to actually help in managing these things is the preparation of the preparation and use of some of the documents that he uses in his work. Just like the architect designs and produces his drawings, and the engineers too designs and produces their engineering design. The builders too, we produce some documents, and that is what guides us in our work.
We have to wrap up now because time is really not by our side. I think that will be your wrapping statement.
My wrapping statement will be that one of the challenges that we have in Nigeria is the fact that people have not put round pegs in round holes and square pegs in square holes. So when you want to produce a building, the proper professional that is trained and legalized in Nigeria to do that is a registered builder. And I think that people need to know that so that we can stop quackery, stop building collapse, stop so many malice that we have within the built environment.
Well, there you go. Building technology building technology and builders' role in a built environment. And we have had builder Adedayo who's take us through this particular topic. And I believe that you have gathered one or two things for yourself. Now, Glory is the only person who called on the program for the question of the day. And yes, the question of the day, the answer is option C. Glory, if you're watching, option C, kidney, is very, very correct. Thank you so much for calling us, and we've got your number. Be rest assured that we will reach out to you, Glory, from Mowe. We now move to question of the week. Question of the week is, what is the energy stored in the bonds between atoms? What is the energy stored in the bonds between atoms? We have kinetic energy, potential energy, thermal energy, and electrical energy. Well, if you know the answer, you have our handles and our number to please call us and tell us the answer. This is how far we can go on the program today. My name is Miriam Usman. This program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of Kansu Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art. I'll see you next week, God's willing. Bye for now.